It's been a week and a day since Donald Trump was elected President of the United States. What else can I even say about it? Quite a bit, actually. Here are 5 disgraceful things about the 2016 U.S. presidential election. Number 1, bigotry was mainstreamed. To be fair, this began long before this year's election. In the case of Donald Trump, it began in the 1980s and then kicked into a whole nother gear in the mid-2000s when Trump was given his own primetime network TV series, despite being openly racist and misogynistic for the entirety of his public life. This should be a cautionary tale to future generations. When you tolerate intolerance, you empower intolerance. And when you empower intolerance, you endanger yourself, your fellow citizens, and your civilization. Number 2, dishonesty was rewarded. One of the most pervasive and destructive lies of the campaign was the notion that Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton were equally dishonest. Numerous independent fact-checkers concluded that Trump lied far more often and about far more consequential matters, but that didn't seem to make a difference to many voters. Despite the fact that Hillary Clinton had been repeatedly, exhaustively investigated by numerous government agencies, including the FBI, and was never charged with a crime, many voters nonetheless concluded that she must be a criminal. Meanwhile, Donald Trump continued to lie his ass off even on the relatively rare occasions when someone from the news media confronted him with one of his lies. Yet somehow millions of Americans reached the conclusion that Trump was someone they could trust. Number 3, corruption was ignored. Like Hillary Clinton's supposedly undeniable dishonesty, the facts tell a very different story than the OMG she's so corrupt narrative that the Trump campaign picked up from far-right blogs and talk radio. Donald Trump, on the other hand, found himself at the center of scandals involving his phony university and his questionable, at best, use of funds raised for his foundation. Plus, he has a history of racist housing discrimination. He's been fined by the Federal Trade Commission for violating antitrust laws. He has lent his name to several sketchy get-rich-quick schemes, and he has a delightful habit of refusing to pay contractors who worked for him, all of which was covered fleetingly and rarely, if at all, by the news media during the campaign. Donald Trump accusing Hillary Clinton of corruption is like the pot calling the kettle black if the kettle is actually a striking shade of red and a former senator and secretary of state who's also been a lifelong advocate for the rights of women and children. Number 4, ideals were discarded. Let's make a short list of all the supposedly cherished American traditions that 60 million voters decided weren't actually all that important on their way to electing Donald Trump. Religious tolerance, racial equality, women's equality, the whole give us you're tired, you're poor thing, not promising to use the office of president to punish your opponent if elected, not indirectly but repeatedly calling for the assassination of your opponent on the campaign trail, not inviting people in other countries to hack the computers of your opposition, not celebrating sexual predators. Okay, I made that last one up. Celebrating sexual predators is actually a cherished American tradition, and boy, did we uphold it in an emphatic way this time around. But I stand by the rest of that list. It's just too bad that more voters in, for instance, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin didn't. Number 5, evil was victorious. Is that overstatement? I don't think so. Donald Trump has proposed banning all Muslims from entering the U.S. He has proposed building a wall between the United States and Mexico and deporting 11 million people. He has denied the threat of climate change. He has energized and rejuvenated white supremacists, rape apologists, paranoid conspiracy theorists, and if he succeeds in implementing many of the policies he proposed during the campaign, people will suffer and people will die as a result. I call that evil. Maybe you don't. That's your problem. President Donald Trump is about to become the whole world's problem. The hardest part is picking only 5. Catch you next time. Hey folks, hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. And also please consider helping me to make more videos like this one by supporting this channel through Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/Steve Shives to become a patron. Thanks for watching.